Meghan Markle has just had a date night with a Finnish man. So what has she done to try and take the attention away from this scandal? I know, leaked Prince Harry's private pictures, never before seen, of them intimately kissing.
Just as Meghan Markle was already getting hit with heavy backlash online over her awkward Geneva appearance and that controversial dinner photo with a European political figure linked to harassment accusations and questionable comments, the internet suddenly exploded with never-before-seen wedding photos of Meghan and Prince Harry kissing. And these were not just a couple of polished anniversary pictures either. People started reacting to private reception shots, emotional edited clips, and what some critics were calling over-the-top moments that many believed were never supposed to become public.
Meghan had a cozy dinner with a sex-accused politician. Here he is, Ville Rydman, and he is a Finnish politician.
Snaps either. We're talking private reception moments, emotional slow-motion edit.
But here's the part that really got people talking. Meghan had only recently finished speaking publicly about the dangers of social media and online negativity, then suddenly returned to Instagram posting deeply personal royal moments for millions to watch. The timing instantly sparked speculation, with many online asking whether this was truly just an anniversary celebration or a strategic move to shift attention away from the growing Geneva criticism.
The strategy is nuts, but we see right through it. So officially, Meghan shared these unseen wedding photos to celebrate her 8th anniversary with Prince Harry. It was posted on Instagram with a crescent moon, and she said 8 years ago today.
And instead of calming things down, the reaction may have made the situation even louder online. Now, before we get into the wedding photos and the backlash surrounding them, we do need to briefly mention Geneva. But not for too long, because the full situation was already covered in earlier Hollywood Yesterday videos, so definitely check those out afterward, because things escalated very quickly. Meghan's Switzerland appearance was reportedly meant to be a major solo spotlight moment. No Prince Harry beside her, no royal family headlines competing for attention, just Meghan presenting herself as a serious global public figure while speaking about online safety and digital culture. According to reports, the entire appearance had been carefully organized, with the focus expected to stay completely centered on her message.
Not only was Meghan ignored by her pals in the mainstream media in Geneva, the shots that have ricocheted all around the internet are actually this, the totally empty crowds. I mean, if you compare Geneva side by side with Sydney, with all of the barriers up, some type of suggestion that there was going to be crowds, and they were not. I mean, look at this. This is one of my favorite women in the background who just happens to be there, and she's putting on her clothes.
But almost immediately, the optics started falling apart. Photos from the event quickly spread online, showing sparse crowd areas, limited public excitement, and social media users comparing the visit to past royal appearances that pulled massive crowds and worldwide attention. One clip especially went viral because while Meghan was speaking, a woman standing nearby appeared more focused on fixing her clothing than listening to the speech itself. Social media absolutely went wild with reactions. Reports also claim Meghan appeared tense during parts of the visit, while critics argued the event felt more like a carefully managed publicity moment than a natural public engagement. And again, all of that was already covered in detail in previous Hollywood Yesterday uploads, so we're not going to spend the entire video revisiting Geneva. Because honestly, what happened next is where the situation became seriously strange. Right when the Geneva criticism was beginning to spread even more online, something very unexpected suddenly happened. Out of nowhere, Meghan Markle uploaded a collection of never-before-seen wedding photos to Instagram to celebrate her anniversary with Prince Harry. And almost instantly, the entire conversation shifted.
Is now reporting that this was a plan, a PR plan by Meghan, who decided that she didn't want her husband in Geneva because this was her moment. Well, okay, Meghan, it may have been your moment, but it didn't work out particularly well, did it?
The post featured a montage filled with emotional moments from their 2018 royal wedding, including several kissing photos, heartfelt embraces, behind-the-scenes reception clips, and private interactions the public had never seen before. Some images even appeared to come from sections of the celebration that many believed had originally been kept completely private. And that is exactly why the reaction online became so explosive. For years, Harry and Meghan have openly discussed privacy, media pressure, and the emotional impact that comes with non-stop public attention. Prince Harry has also repeatedly criticized parts of social media and modern online culture, calling certain spaces toxic and damaging. So critics immediately pointed out what they viewed as a major contradiction. Just days after Meghan spoke publicly in Geneva about online negativity and digital harm,
she knew the second Harry walked into the room, the conversation would shift away from her. Standing alone beside global health leaders, Meghan spoke passionately about protecting children online, but behind the scenes, insiders say the appearance was carefully planned down to the smallest detail. Meghan simply wanted this stage to herself. People can stop pretending this was about childcare. They could easily have found help.
She suddenly returned to Instagram, sharing highly personal royal memories with millions of followers across the world. And people noticed the timing right away. According to critics online, the anniversary upload did not feel random at all. Many believe the release was strategically timed to redirect attention away from the growing backlash connected to Geneva and that controversial dinner photo involving a Finnish political figure. Whether intentional or not, the move definitely shifted the conversation for a while, because social media suddenly stopped focusing on awkward event optics and started debating the wedding montage instead. But that debate quickly turned into another controversy of its own. Some viewers described the images as emotional and romantic.
You'll notice who's not there, right? Apart from a very far away glimpse of King Charles, there's lots of Doria Ragland, but nothing of the British royal family.
Others, however, felt the photos were unusually personal for such a major royal event. A few royal commentators even argued the montage blurred the line between public celebration and moments that were likely meant to stay private. Then another detail instantly grabbed attention online. The montage was reportedly paired with Paula Abdul's Forever Your Girl, which only pushed the conversation even further. Some viewers thought the song choice felt nostalgic and sweet. Others joked that the lyrics sounded oddly dramatic considering the non-stop rumors surrounding Harry and Meghan's relationship over the last year. But maybe the biggest talking point involved who appeared throughout the montage and who barely appeared at all. Observers quickly noticed that Meghan's mother, Doria Ragland, was featured prominently in several moments.
Harry's going to be furious about this. These pictures were never meant to be seen. And of course, the bigger point is it completely undermines the argument of Meghan Markle saying these social media companies are evil. But I know I'm going to put up all of my pictures there.
While many members of the British royal family appeared only briefly, or were mostly absent from key shots. Since the royal family funded and hosted the wedding itself, critics argued those editing choices felt intentional and carefully planned. Then there was the scale of the entire rollout. These were not just a few quick anniversary photos quietly uploaded online. The montage looked highly polished, emotionally charged, and extremely curated, almost like a soft relaunch of Harry and Meghan's public love story right as Meghan's image was facing another intense round of criticism online. That's when royal watchers started asking the bigger question. Was this simply an anniversary tribute celebrating years of marriage? Or was it a carefully timed media pivot designed to shift headlines while the Geneva backlash kept growing louder? Because regardless of the intention behind the upload, one thing became very difficult to ignore. Instead of slowing down criticism surrounding Meghan, the photos triggered an entirely new wave of debate online.
There was also something coded in the song that she chose to put these pictures to, Paula Abdul's Forever Your Girl. To be honest, I think that's a bit more of a threat to Prince Harry, isn't it? It's like, you're not getting away from me.
And that backlash only became louder once royal commentators started sharing their opinions. While Meghan's supporters praised the anniversary montage as heartfelt and romantic, critics saw something completely different. They argued the images felt far too personal for a royal wedding that had originally been presented as a formal historic occasion watched by millions around the world. One of the strongest reactions came from royal biographer Angela Levin, who reportedly described the photos as vulgar and not royal during a tense television discussion about the post. According to Levin, the issue was not the couple showing affection itself, but the choice to publicly release such personal moments years later after repeatedly criticizing media attention and asking for more privacy from the public. And honestly, that contradiction is exactly what reignited the entire debate online. People still remember Meghan speaking critically about parts of her royal experience, including comments suggesting she never fully wanted the huge royal spectacle surrounding the wedding in the first place.
Well, it's very interesting because we all know that she said she had a horrible wedding. It was absolutely ghastly. Even though that it cost 3,000 million pounds, she didn't like it. She wanted to just have a very small arrangement.
But now, years later, critics say she appears to be reopening the royal wedding archive at the exact moment it benefits her image publicly. That alone got people talking fast. But the criticism did not stop there. A lot of royal watchers focused heavily on the overall tone of the montage itself. Instead of feeling like traditional royal anniversary portraits, the video came across as highly emotional, carefully polished, and in certain moments almost celebrity style rather than royal. Critics argued the repeated kissing photos and private reception footage seemed less focused on celebrating royal tradition and more focused on presenting Harry and Meghan as a glamorous couple standing strong despite non-stop rumors and criticism. Then online viewers started analyzing every detail frame by frame. Observers noticed that while Meghan's mother, Doria Ragland, appeared regularly throughout the montage, members of the royal family were surprisingly hard to spot.
Oh, God. Yes, they were in love once, folks. They were. You know, as Lady Colin Campbell put it, he was whipped at the time. And this was an era where there was true happiness, really, between Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
King Charles III could reportedly only be seen briefly in the background of one image, while several other senior royals appeared mostly absent from the emotional storytelling of the post. For critics, that did not feel accidental. After all, this was not some random collection of pictures quickly uploaded online. Every image looked carefully selected, professionally edited, and strategically arranged. So online commentators immediately started questioning why the royal family, the institution directly connected to the wedding itself, seemed almost removed from the anniversary tribute. And that added another awkward layer to the whole situation. Because while Meghan was once again using royal wedding imagery to dominate headlines, she also appeared to be creating distance between the post and the monarchy itself. To some royal commentators, the message almost came across like this: keep the glamour, keep the titles, keep the fairy tale visuals, but quietly push the royal family out of the emotional spotlight.
And look, Angela, you know I'm a big believer in innocent until proven guilty. I've got no idea if this dude, Willie, is a good Willie or a bad Willie. I don't know. But it's pretty funny, is it not, Angela, that Ms. PC, Mrs. Woke, Meghan Markle, has ended up being pictured on a date night with this guy.
Meanwhile, others pointed out another contradiction people simply could not ignore. For years, Harry and Meghan have accused the media of invading their privacy and profiting from deeply personal moments. Yet critics now argue Meghan appeared to be doing something very similar herself, voluntarily sharing private footage and emotional memories across one of the world's biggest social media platforms, right as public criticism surrounding her image was intensifying. And according to critics, the timing made everything look even more strategic. Because instead of the internet focusing on the Geneva backlash, the sparse crowds, or the controversy connected to that Finnish politician photo, suddenly everybody was talking about Meghan and Harry kissing at their wedding again. So whether intentional or not, the move completely shifted the headlines. But maybe not in the way Meghan originally hoped. So at this point, the bigger question stopped being about the photos themselves and started focusing on the strategy behind them. Because according to multiple reports surrounding the Geneva trip, Meghan allegedly saw the appearance as a chance to position herself as an independent global figure, separate from both Prince Harry and ongoing royal family drama. Insiders claim the event was carefully designed to highlight her as a serious international voice, with heavy attention on styling, messaging, media optics, and speech preparation ahead of the visit.
It is quite extraordinary that to distract from what has been a complete catastrophe for Meghan in Geneva, she has decided to open her photo book to the world. These pictures never before seen from the wedding. We even go inside what was meant to be a private reception where Elton John performed and Harry is seen hugging Meghan's PR friend, a woman who I know called Isabel May. She used to represent the Beckhams.
And that helps explain why Harry's absence became such a huge talking point. Several reports suggested Meghan specifically wanted this moment to be her stage, According to insiders, the idea was that without Harry beside her, media attention would finally stay locked on her activism and public work instead of constantly drifting back to royal feuds, family tension, and tabloid drama. But ironically, the exact opposite ended up happening. Instead of headlines focusing on Meghan's speech or humanitarian message, the conversation quickly shifted into awkward crowd footage, online mockery, PR criticism, and eventually the controversy tied to the selfie with a Finnish politician. By the time the wedding photos appeared online, many were already questioning whether the Geneva trip had achieved anything positive at all. And that is why the anniversary post suddenly started to look less like a simple celebration and more like narrative control. Because from a PR angle, the shift was immediate. The internet stopped debating Meghan's speech performance and started focusing on the emotional wedding montage instead. News coverage quickly moved away from empty crowd discussions and controversial optics, and instead broke down royal wedding footage, hidden meanings in song choices, and speculation about Harry and Meghan's relationship dynamic. In other words, the entire focus flipped completely.
And where, you might ask, my friend, had she decided to post these intimate pictures? Oh, that's right, on Mark Zuckerberg's social media network. Yes, the same social media network which she has just been campaigning against in Geneva.
Now, of course, nobody outside Meghan's team truly knows whether the timing was intentional. That's important to say. But critics online felt the rollout looked far too convenient to be accidental, especially in modern celebrity PR culture where timing is everything. That's especially true when public figures are under reputational pressure, because modern celebrity image management is no longer just about interviews or statements. It's about shaping emotional narratives online. And few things drive emotional engagement faster than unseen romantic footage, nostalgia, and royal wedding imagery. Meghan understands that better than most people. But according to critics, there was one major issue with the strategy. The distraction itself became the controversy. Instead of fully moving attention past the Geneva criticism, the wedding photos created a whole new debate around hypocrisy, privacy, royal image, and media manipulation. Suddenly, people weren't only discussing the political controversy anymore, they were also questioning Meghan's consistency, her messaging, and her relationship with publicity itself. Because critics argue Meghan and Harry often appear caught in a strange contradiction, condemning media exposure while at the same time relying on highly controlled public exposure to stay relevant.
That's not good enough when you're attempting to be a fake royal. And this is the hilarious thing, they're not up to it. And this whole week has been an exercise in how not to do PR.
And the Geneva situation ended up highlighting that contradiction even more than ever. One moment, Meghan was speaking with passion about the risks and harms of online platforms. The next moment, she was on Instagram releasing emotionally charged royal wedding content designed to instantly take over the online conversation. For critics, those two positions simply did not match up at all. At the same time, supporters pushed back strongly against the backlash. Many defended Meghan's right to celebrate her marriage in whatever way she chooses, pointing out that sharing anniversary photos is completely normal in today's celebrity-driven social media culture. Others argued that critics were overthinking harmless romantic content simply because Meghan remains such a divisive public figure online. And that is exactly why this story blew up so fast. Everything Meghan does now instantly turns symbolic for both sides of the debate. If she posts nothing, people start speculating. If she shares personal content, she gets accused of chasing attention. If she appears alone publicly, it becomes a statement about Harry. If Harry appears without her, rumors start all over again. Every move gets pulled into a larger narrative war between supporters and critics.
In song choices and speculation about Harry and Meghan's marriage dynamic.
But Meghan must have thought this is a marvellous idea.
And Angela, this is a suggestion, just talk me through it. So this is the growing suggestion that she is planning to launch her own fashion range, potentially with some items, in some way inspired by Diana? Is that the idea behind it?
But even inside that constant media noise, Geneva felt different. Because this was meant to be a polished, carefully controlled image reset. A moment designed to position Meghan beyond celebrity drama and into the space of global advocacy and international influence. Instead, the trip got buried under viral, awkward moments, political controversy, and accusations of PR distraction tactics. And once the wedding photos entered the conversation, the original purpose of the Geneva appearance almost disappeared completely from public discussion, which is probably the clearest sign that something in the strategy didn't land as intended. While Meghan's Geneva trip kept generating headlines for all the wrong reasons, the contrast with the working royals back in Britain became impossible to ignore. At almost the exact same time the internet was debating wedding photo dumps, awkward optics, and PR narratives, King Charles III and Queen Camilla were appearing at the Chelsea Flower Show surrounded by celebrities, public attention, and the kind of relaxed royal atmosphere that Meghan and Harry were once closely associated with. And one appearance in particular sparked even more online conversation: David Beckham. Because over the past few years, reports of tension between the Sussexes and the Beckhams have continued circulating.
Meghan wanted the spotlight on her work, not the chaos surrounding the royal family. Sources say Meghan worked closely with advisors, speechwriters, and stylists ahead of the event because she understood how important the moment could be for her future. Still, insiders insist Harry fully supported the strategy. This was Meghan's stage, the source said, and she wanted to completely own it. Okay, Meghan, that's fine with me. You own that moment. Because let me tell you, it was a monumental disaster.
Especially after rumors that Harry and Meghan allegedly accused the Beckhams of leaking stories to the press, claims that reportedly strained relationships significantly. Whether all of those reports are accurate or not, one thing is clear publicly. The Beckhams now appear much more closely aligned with the royal circle than with Harry and Meghan. So when cameras captured King Charles warmly interacting with David Beckham at Chelsea, many royal watchers immediately read it as symbolic. On one side, the monarchy was presenting stability, tradition, and carefully managed public appearances. On the other side, Meghan was facing another wave of controversy, online backlash, and renewed debate about PR strategy and timing. And visually, the contrast could not have been more obvious. The Chelsea Flower Show images projected calm, stability, and confidence. King Charles III appeared relaxed, engaged, and increasingly comfortable returning to public duties despite ongoing health challenges. Royal commentators even pointed out how active the king has seemed recently, with many suggesting he looks re-energized by reconnecting with public engagements and official appearances. Meanwhile, the Sussex narrative once again felt driven more by online drama than by the causes they promote.
Dear Meghan Markle, for your next engagement, perhaps include rent a crowd in the planning. Those wide-angle shots have been rather unforgiving lately.
And that may be the core problem Harry and Meghan continue to face. No matter how serious the subject is meant to be, online safety, mental health, philanthropy, activism, the public conversation keeps drifting back toward optics, celebrity behavior, media strategy, and personal controversy. The message itself often gets buried under the surrounding spectacle. Geneva became another clear example of that cycle. Instead of Meghan coming out of the trip viewed as a strong, independent global voice, the headlines were dominated by viral moments. Criticism over event presentation, the controversy involving a Finnish political figure, and then the sudden release of highly personal wedding images that sparked an entirely separate wave of backlash.
Because unfortunately, this is Schadenfreude, isn't it? If you continue to treat the public like fools, this is going to be the result. They're not going to turn up.
And the more this pattern repeats, the harder it becomes for the Sussexes to break out of it. Because every attempt to regain narrative control seems to create a new narrative instead. That is why critics argue the wedding photo rollout may have done more harm than good in the long run. Yes, it briefly shifted attention away from some of the Geneva criticism, but it also reopened long-running debates about privacy, publicity, royal branding, and Meghan's relationship with media attention. In trying to redirect the spotlight, Meghan may have unintentionally made it even brighter. And perhaps the most striking part of all this is how differently the two royal worlds now appear to operate. The monarchy continues relying on tradition, public service, and carefully structured appearances built around institutions larger than any single individual. Meanwhile, Harry and Meghan's approach increasingly revolves around personal storytelling, emotional branding, social media engagement, and highly curated public moments. Those are two completely different strategies, and right now, one appears far more stable than the other. Because whether people support Meghan or criticize her, one thing is undeniable. Every move she makes now triggers immediate global reaction.
Kindness and humility training has not seemed to pay off. Not an ounce was present on Rachel's ugly mug hair. And of course, this is the problem. When you are using grieving parents. And that's what they are. It's so sad to try and advance your pro-censorship message, and we see through it. Unfortunately, you are going to be called out.
The Geneva trip proved that. The wedding photos proved that. And the backlash surrounding both proved something else too. The public is no longer just watching Meghan Markle. They are actively trying to decode the strategy behind every headline. So in the end, what was meant to be a carefully managed anniversary celebration may have turned into something way bigger and a lot messier than expected. Because instead of just reminding the world about Meghan and Harry's love story, the sudden drop of those intimate wedding photos sparked fresh debates about privacy, publicity, royal image, and whether the entire rollout was actually designed to pull attention away from the growing Geneva backlash. And that is really the main question hanging over this whole situation now. Was this truly a heartfelt anniversary tribute from Meghan Markle? Or was it emergency damage control right at the moment, criticism around Geneva, the empty crowd optics, and the controversial politician photos started blowing up online? Whatever the truth is, one thing became crystal clear this week. Meghan's attempt to control the narrative may have ended up creating an even bigger narrative instead.
And the fact that she, 8 years on, is showing all of these pictures which we never saw before because they're pretty uncouth. Let's be honest. They were kissing all the time at this wedding, and this is a royal wedding. I know some people will like it, Angela, but a lot of people will say this is too much.
Because critics were not just talking about the wedding photos themselves. They were talking about the timing, the contradictions, the messaging, and the optics behind it all. And once again, the conversation around Meghan shifted away from activism and straight back into controversy. Meanwhile, the royal family continued with public appearances, traditional engagements, and business as usual, creating an even sharper contrast between the monarchy's structured image and the more chaotic media storms surrounding the Sussex brand. And honestly, that contrast is getting harder to ignore with every passing month. But let me know what you think down below. Were these romantic anniversary memories unfairly criticized by the internet? Or did the timing feel a little too convenient to ignore?